Yo, what's good, everybody? I want to thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry's Sistas review, season 3, episode 8, entitled Little White Lies. There were so many people who asked me what I thought about this episode, and in reality, this is exactly what I thought. I thought that's how I felt on the inside. I didn't think this episode was so boring for me, and I was so uninterested in it. And normally, when I would watch Sistas, you know what I'm saying, before Tyler just really made this show the debacle that it is now, I would be glued into my TV, glued in. Nobody better not call me, text me, want me to do nothing because it's not getting done. Why? Because I'm watching Sistas. Now, when I watched this show last night, I was literally on my phones the entire time. I was texting and all that. I was paying attention, but I just was not interested in it. It was such a boring episode. So normally I write notes. I do have some notes. It's really nothing on this paper. So y'all just pray with me, and I'm gonna give God the glory for what come out of this review, because I honestly don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, here we go. Thank you for tuning in. It's your first time listening to one of my reviews. Don't hold it against me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if that's what you're being led to. If not, just sit back and let's just discuss this episode that we all saw last night. And I'm sure that none of us probably really enjoyed. So it opens up in typical Tyler Perry fashion. Almost 3 minutes was wasted on Fatima and Andy going back and forth with pointless dialogue. Girl, you need to come home. Why? Just get here, Andy. You asking all of these questions. Just come home. Just tell me what's going on. Andy, get here now. Fatima, if I could have gotten there, I wouldn't have asked you to go. I know. But sis, you need to really get here. I think something's going on with Gary. Oh, Gary home? Back and forth. I was just like, I just bust out laughing when I was listening to it, because I'm like, this is so typical. And it almost makes me feel like Tyler has nothing to write about. And he just repeats the same thing, just in different ways. It's so utterly annoying. So Andy finally gets home and clearly hears a woman moaning. And I'm just like, she barges into the bathroom door like, oh, hell no. Only to find Gary on the phone with his therapist. And I'm like, pause, Tyler, you can kiss my entire ass, okay? Because what you're not going to do is play in our faces right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we all heard what the hell was going on. We heard the moaning from the man. We heard moaning from a woman, the groaning, the sexual sounds. And I'm just like, you can kiss my ass, because I knew there had to be porn, because when you listen to it carefully, it sounds as if a man and a woman is kissing. So when Andy went into the bathroom, see, she wasn't like me. Bro, I need you to get up. Pull that shower curtain back. I said, Andy, you ain't look everywhere, sis. You didn't look everywhere. See, You can't leave nothing unturned when you're dealing with a psychopath like Gary. You need to make sure you need to look at every nook and cranny, sis, because you missed that shower curtain. I was like, what's behind the shower curtain? There's somebody behind the shower curtain, because it was just too much. Even if it wasn't a woman there, we clearly know that it was porn that was being played, or it was that woman, Angela. Her name. Either she was moaning and groaning, or I'm just like, you build up this anticipation, people trying to figure out what's going on, and even the ridiculousness of, oh, I think Gary in there with Aaron. I'm like, what the hell? Then the craziest one I heard was, oh, he in there with Karen. And I'm just like, you know what? I understand people not liking certain characters, but the utter bullshit that comes out of people's thoughts and mouths, just it definitely, I don't know. I don't know. But I thought Fatima was going to be our saving grace with this scene, because if no one else, Fatima heard in length the moaning and the groaning, and she allowed Andy to make her second guess herself after Andy talked to Gary. Oh, this is my therapist. I'm in the middle of a session. This is what's going on. Say hi, Angela. And Angela was like, hi, Andy. I can't wait until we have a group session. I said, a what? A group session? Gary, what the hell are you? Gary, what are you into? A group session? So a threesome? I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I don't trust Gary at all. I don't trust Gary at all, but I just could not believe that we all heard the same thing and Tyler is trying to flip it as if none of that stuff happened. This was a regular conversation. Even Andy told Fatima to come in her room to listen to Gary on the phone talking to Angela, where it was like, yeah, get it out. Oh, she meant get it out, not let it out. I said, Fatima, you supposed to be the smart one in this group. You supposed to be the smart one out of you and Andy. Sis, what's going on? I was just disgusted. I was mad at everybody on this scene. Because I just felt like, what was the point? What was the purpose? It just made no sense. Y'all, pray my strength in the Lord. Because this show is irritating me because I really, really loved this show when it first came out. And to see what is happening to it, it is like hurting my feelings because I'm like, what? How did we get here? How did we get here? Tyler messed this show up about 3 episodes. There was like 3 episodes left of last season when he completely flipped the switch with Karen and Zach and that whole situation. And to me, it's been going downhill ever since then, like just to completely change these people's nature. It was just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. So I'm going to just end these people scene because I don't want to deal with them. But anyway, so Fatima leaves. She apologizes to Andy for thinking, that Gary was having sex with a woman. And so Gary comes out. He and Andy talk about how the therapist is helping him. And they're going to talk about, what happened the night before, that he couldn't perform or whatever. And, he was just like, small spaces tend to help me more. And I'm like, well, how long you been seeing this therapist? Because Andy and Gary have had sex since she has been intimate with Paris. So I'm not understanding why all of a sudden now he is unable to perform sexually with Andy. It just doesn't make sense. But, like I said, this is typical Tyler writing to forget storylines and have all these damn plot holes and have the viewers trying to figure out what happened because he never completely deals with a storyline before he creates another one. It's just lunacy at this point. So Andy has Fatima call, what's his name, Robin, to have them switch restaurants to go to another place. And I'm thinking to myself, Fatima, why do you act like you're Andy's personal assistant? You're not. You're her assistant at work. All of this stuff she be doing after hours, you gonna pay me. Bump, pay me. I ain't gonna do it. I'm not calling to reschedule. I'm not calling your friends to let them know you're gonna be running late. No, Andy is just a poor ass friend up and down. There's just no way. And so I don't even understand why Fatima, it seems like she continually pushes this friend word. And I talked about this last week with her and Andy. And I'm like, baby girl, you do not want to be Andy's friend. You don't even want her to consider you a friend because she doesn't even treat the friends right who's been in her life 15, 16 years. That is not someone who you want to deal with. No, at all. Just no. So Gary asked her where they going, where she going, why she dressed like that. She said she wanted to change the clothes. He said, I didn't ask you. But the moment he asked her where she was going, I knew instantly that his crazy psychotic ass was going to pop up. We already knew. We already knew. Anyway, at the restaurant, I'm done with them. I'm done with them. Lo and behold, Gary pops up at the end of the other episode, and that was it. I just don't want to deal with them. They make my blood boil. So at the restaurant, so Sabrina, well, I'll come back to that. So Sabrina is sitting down, and this guy approaches her. I said, oh, he looks like her type. Light skin, tattoos, all that good stuff. And so he said that his name was El Fuego, and that, we found out he was a dancer, and he knew the girls, I believe, from college. And he used to be this fat kid with acne, and Sabrina was just so shocked that he looked so different. And he sat down for a while and told Sabrina that he and somebody else, which I believe is Jacoby, we'll get into that in a minute, were going to this bachelorette party. And I'm like, Tyler, why do it is okay for Sabrina to be a little ditzy. I have a ditzy friend as well. I love her. Ain't nothing wrong with them. Ain't nothing wrong with Ain't nothing wrong with them. Ain't nothing wrong with having a ditzy friend. Some of us have them. But I'm like, you act like Sabrina just has no sense. Oh, you're going to a bachelorette party. Huh? Are you a singer? What? I said, a singer at a bachelorette party, Sabrina. Come on, sis. Get with it. Get with it, Sabrina. You're not that. I don't want to say the word, but you're not that, Sabrina. You got more sense than that. But anyway, he was like, I'm a dancer. He works at this, I believe the club is called Club Eden or something like that. And so in my mind, I said, I wonder if Tyler is gonna put his new show, All the Queen's Men and Sisters in the same universe, which he is, because I found out the dude that's El Fuego is a dancer on the new show that's gonna be starring Eva. He's gonna be on the show, so I'm assuming Sisters and the show, they're gonna be in the same universe. And I believe that Jacoby is a dancer as well. We know that Sky, he's a dancer or was a dancer in real life, but I think he is gonna be an exotic dancer too, now that he done got fired from this bank. And he got the body for it, he got the face for it, he got everything for it. And I'm just happy because I think we actually gonna see Jacoby and El Fuego dance. So I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that episode whenever it does air. So Sabrina, and she has been joined by Danny and Karen at the restaurant, and they're waiting for Andi, of course. So Sabrina and Sabrina and Karen asked Danny if she broke up with Preston because she has on her thirst trap dress. I said, that's a thirst trap dress? What the hell is that? It halfway looked like a communion dress if it was a little longer. I'm just like, I don't know what Danny have on. I don't know, but that's her thirst trap dress. And, they were not lying because, we all know that Danny is dealing with some internal things when it comes to her and Preston. And I'm guessing that was her way to maybe, get some attention from other men or to take her mind off what's going on with Preston. Instead of just being honest, I'd rather her just be honest with him instead of her, degrading him or making him feel like, she's just irritated or bothered with him when he's honestly done nothing wrong. So Karen asked the ladies if anything interesting happened to them. And Sabrina and Danny are kind of looking at her confused and concerned because it's like, no, should something have happened? And she was like, well, I'll let y'all know when Andi gets here. And so they kind of gave a look like, oh hell, they knew shit was finna hit the fan whenever Andi came in, because there's already this tension between Andi and Karen. And on top of that, something has happened that they don't know about. And so when Andi arrives, Karen, let me tell y'all something. Karen is better than me because I would not have apologized for what I said nor how I said it. I would have meant everything. Don't get me wrong. There are times that I have said something and in the manner in which I said was foul, but I meant what I said. My intention was it for not to be displayed that way. But in Karen's situation, I felt she was warranted to say what she had to say. I didn't think it was wrong. It was foul. This is how I feel. And I think the thing with Karen is that, when she was telling Andi, like, don't marry him, Andi, tell him no, I didn't take it as her trying to tell her what to do. You can sense, you could feel, you could hear the hurt in her voice because it's like, you're my friend. And we all know that Andi and Karen are closer to the other girls, closer to each other, than they are to the other girls. And we don't know why, but I've always felt that Karen knows so much more about Andi and her being abused in college than the other girls do, even though they are aware that these things did happen to Andi. And I feel that that's why she is so protective of her. And I'm just like, we all have those friends. I have certain friends in my life who I know have been abused or mistreated in such a crazy way. And so you tend to be more protective of those individuals. And then you have to sometimes just let shit go, because I know me. I'm at a place in my life where, when Sabrina told Karen that she was wrong for leaving, I'm like, no, sis, that's your opinion. I don't feel like Karen was wrong for leaving. Now, if somebody said, what's 2 + 2 and someone said 5, now that's wrong. And that's based on fact. But to tell someone they're wrong based on your own opinions and your own perceptions, no, I don't like that. But obviously Karen felt like she was wrong for leaving, and so for that she apologized. And I'm like, no, baby, you better than me, because at this point in my life, I do not like chaos, drama, nor confusion. And I can't be around stuff like that. Like the way my mind's set up right now, I don't have the patience for it. Y'all been done seeing me on the news like, damn, it's a damn shame what Alicia did. Like, yeah, because I can't function in dysfunction. And I think that it has become such a normality now, dysfunction, that people, they choose to thrive in that. I don't see how people function in that. So I'm like, nah, I don't agree that Karen was wrong in the least bit. So she asked Andy, like, don't you owe me an apology too? So the girl's looking like, no, she really don't. Like, apologize to you for what? And so Karen was like, oh, you don't know. And so she brought out the paperwork, the subpoena to show up in court because, Jasmine was suing Andy for alienation of affection. And she listed all of them as, oh God, what you call them? Oh, I can't think of the word right now. I don't know. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about. She listed the women as something. I can't think of it. I can't think of the word right now. But it was like, now your friends are getting caught up in your bull crap. And so Karen was like, no, the most interesting thing is further. Keep reading, Andy. You know what I'm saying? The wife is in jail because she shot Gary and held you at gunpoint. And so Sabrina was like, is Gary okay? And Danny kind of looked like, do we even give a damn? Is he dead? Like, we don't care if he's alive nor dead. And it wouldn't hurt if he was gone. That's how I took what Danny did. And I just felt like, Sabrina was like, when were you going to tell us? And Andy, I was going to tell you. No, you were not. You were not going to tell these women that Jasmine broke into your house, shot Gary with the little pellet or whatever it was, and held you at gunpoint and put all of you guys' life in danger. You weren't going to tell them that because Andy still has not told the girls about the situation in the parking garage where Fatima had to pull out her gun because Andy was getting her ass beat. So I'm like, no, you keep so much stuff from these women. Like, I just think Andy is a poor excuse of a friend. And it's hard for me to, when I'm watching the show, it's hard for me to really look at her as like, you just a trash ass person. Up and down. I know a lot of people give a lot of grief to Karen, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I just feel like when it comes to friendship, when it comes to all of that stuff, Andy is the absolute worst because she's doing things to keep people. She could potentially put these women in danger. And I'm like, I just don't understand her values when it comes to friendship and secrecy and stuff like that. She just, I just don't like that. So let's deal with, let me finish them. This is why I said another reason Andy is a poor ass excuse of a friend. You canceled lunch with the women. You invited them out to dinner and, we all supposed to meet for dinner. You changed it up, letting them know that you're going to be late. And on top of that, you scheduled what you claim as a business meeting with Robin. And we know damn well that is not a business meeting. You went out because you find this man attractive and it was a way for you to get some male attention. That's exactly what it was. So when Robin comes up, he hi, whatever. And Andy introduced them. Karen didn't even turn her head. She was like, hi. I was like, I think these girls are just so done with Andy ass. And so, she went, she was like, I got us a table in the back. When Robin, I don't even care about their conversation. When Robin stated, let's go get a drink back at my hotel. I said, what? Wait, time out. First of all, Andy has only known you for a day, has just met you. Women and men, if anybody invites you to their hotel room, they are not there to have drinks. They are not there to watch TV. Okay? They are there to have sex. Period. That's all it is. They're there to have sex. And I just felt like the moment that Robin said that, meeting is adjourned. Meeting is over because you just disrespected me. You just tried me. Now, if you go back to season 2, was it season 2? Or season 1? I can't remember right now. It was season 1 when she had the situation with Morris. And it was like, everybody basically think you slept your way to the top. Everybody around, thinks so little of you. And I'm just like, it continues. This man don't know you from a can of paint, and he's already inviting you back to his hotel room. And the fact that anyway, I don't know what you're saying to me. What? I said, Tyler, you write these women as if they are so dumb, as if they have no knowledge of when someone is, trying to take advantage of them, or when someone is trying them, or someone is disrespecting them, and they're living in la la land like they have no earthly idea, about what's going on. So she was like, I'm good or whatever. And she continued to stays. She stays and continues to talk to him. She told him that he's very attractive because he told her that she has a nice smile. She said, you do too. See, we've already crossed the line. The line has already been crossed. So they're still talking, and Gary pops up, and I'm just like, good, Gary. You should be mad because hell, both of y'all lying to each other. I just found it funny how the girls was watching the whole thing. The girls didn't say nothing. They didn't get up when they saw Gary. They just watching like, Nick, pass the popcorn. This finna be a show. And I'm just like, it's so irritating. But anyway, speaking of irritating, let's get to Fatima, Zach, and Hayden. So I'm sorry. I think Hayden is so cute. I think he is just a little cute little, he made me think of one of my little friends like, yo, you're just so cute. That's how I look at him. But anyway, he's still an asshole. So this is the thing I want to talk about when it comes to them. It's the fact that I feel, and if there is a Zatima fan, not a Fatima, because I'm cool with Fatima, Zatima, who just all up in Fatima's and Zach's ass, and this, whatever it is they got going on. This is what I always say. Please tell me why Fatima gets praised for the exact same things people crucified Karen for. People got mad. Karen talked down on him. Fatima has several times within her whatever she got going on with Zach, has talked down to Zach, has called Zach out of his name, has said so much stuff, and she doesn't get the backlash. I think last night, and I haven't been on the forums and stuff like that, but I think I saw 5 posts. I'm talking about Twitter and Facebook included. I saw 5 posts that was like, no, why is Fatima coming at Zach this way? Why is she talking to him like that in front of Hayden? Now, my thing is, I agree with them. I felt like whatever Fatima needed to say to Hayden should have been said between her and Hayden. Especially whatever she needed to say between her and Zach should have been between her and Zach. I do not believe that she should have been checking Zach in any way in front of Hayden. Especially when Hayden was like, you really feeling this nigga like that? And she said, no, I'm pissed at you like that. And then we see Zach's confused ass shaking, nodding his head yes, like, yeah, she feeling me like that. But Fatima just said no in front of Hayden, which lets Hayden know, okay, you just a sex thing. You ain't no different than what she had with me. So in that moment, I'm trying to figure out, why was Zach so cool? I'm like, okay, what is going on here? Because I just felt like it was foul as hell for Fatima to do, excuse me, what she did in that moment. Because I'm just like, why did both of them have to be there? And Heifer, why you dressed like that? Why you got on this your little situation, you know what I'm saying, in front of Hayden? I didn't get it. I didn't understand what was going on. I just felt like, wow, this is so interesting to me, because I remember the episode with Karen and Aaron and Zach, when Zach approached Karen and Aaron when he saw them kiss for the first time. And Aaron checked Karen for how she was speaking to Zach. Hayden didn't do nothing but sit down and laugh, because Fatima was going off on both of them. And I saw people yell, Fatima, tell Hayden off. I'm like, no, she told both of them off. She called both of them MFers and told both of them to get the F out of her house. That's what she said to them both. And let's not, people ain't said, I ain't hear nobody say nothing like this. When Fatima came out of her room and baby girl had changed in her dress, Fatima was going out to get some. Zach was still there. She was like, oh, you still here? Like, oh, okay, well, hell, I ain't got to go out no more. I could just, get this was laid around. And I'm just like, excuse me, help me to understand. I'm still trying to understand the fascination with Fatima and Zach, when Fatima has clearly, I feel, overstepped on many situations. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, why does she get off? Why does that character get off on talking down to Zach, calling Zach out his name? Because this is the second man. Let's not get it twisted. This is the second man that Fatima has played Zach in front of. Old dude who she went out with, when Zach was talking about the dude jacket or whatever, and everybody thought it was funny, and Fatima was like, you can laugh, but his jacket costs more than what you got on anything you got in that bag of yours. I said, well, damn, Fatima. Tell us how you feel, sis. So I'm like, this the second man she done played Zach in front of. Fatima mouth is lethal when she said she crazy. She already warned. So I feel like that was a something. Yeah, Zach might see that other side, but we see in the preview, Zach is telling her not to trust him because he effed up. And I'm just like, what the? They just confuse me. Like, honestly, they really just confuse me. Really. But let me go back, because I want to talk about Sabrina and this whole situation with Jacoby. So up until this point, no one knew that she had sex with him except Danny. So when Andy comes and she's telling Andy, about what happened, she said, we had a situation. I'm like, what does that mean? If it wasn't for Danny telling Andy that Sabrina hooked up with Jacoby, I'm like, she wouldn't have known. And Sabrina, excuse me, Sabrina keeps stating, he came on to me. He came on to me. And I'm like, Sabrina, so what? So what he came on to you? Men and women come on to each other all the time. The truth of the matter is, sis, you had sex with him. And another truth of the matter is, Jacoby has not done anything to you that you didn't ask him to do. When you asked him to leave, he left. He called his Uber and he left. You literally told Jacoby that y'all weren't going to have sex, but he can lay on top of you. Come on, sis, what? We grown. What are you doing? You willingly had sex with Jacoby. Now, don't, like I said, he's foul as hell for doing what he's doing. But I'm just like, why is she using the excuse, he came on to me? He came on to me as if that's a justifiable, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It does not make sense to me, not in the least bit at all. I really don't understand it. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on. I just really didn't understand it. This episode, like I said, I just was not feeling this episode at all. I wasn't feeling it. I just felt like this was an episode that was just thrown together, and it just didn't make sense. Like it wasn't even a lot going on. To me, it was just like, what is happening? Why is this scene here? What's going on? I don't understand. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. I just, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I'm truly at a loss for words because I just felt like it was just really nothing. It was just really nothing going on. I wonder if Sabrina and Danny had known what happened the night before this, thrown together wedding, if they would have responded like Karen did. Even though Karen didn't know about the situation at that moment, I felt like if they knew, would they have responded like Karen? What would you have done? So it just, like I said, this episode was trash. It was just trash. It was very hard for me to get into it. I did have some people who asked me some questions. These might be more fun than actually doing the darn review. So I've been talking for 27 minutes. So I might do 2 questions from last night episode. So one person asked, the way that Fatima came at Hayden for Zach, do you think that has something to do with how she really feels about Zach? Honestly, I felt like Fatima was standing up for righteousness in a sense. I think she was doing what any other person would have done, not because she has feelings for Zach like that, but I think it was because she knew that Hayden was doing him dirty, was doing him foul, and she didn't like that. I didn't like it either. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is this, Zach has never done anything to Hayden personally. So the fact that Hayden is just so gung-ho on, blocking this opportunity for Zach, that's not something that I'm fond of. So I don't blame her for doing what she did. Now, the way she executed that didn't make any sense to me. Why he had to come over to your house and why she was dressed like that, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, looking at the show and just looking at it for what it is, it's like Fatima playing more games than anybody else on this show. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. I don't think it had anything to do with her personal or romantic feelings for Zach. I just think she was standing up for, doing what is right. That's how I looked at that. Okay, the other question was, do I feel the viewers are being too hard on Gary? Hell no. No, I don't think that the viewers are being too hard on Gary. We all can see that there is something wrong here. All of us see it except Andy. You know what I'm saying? There's something wrong here. We can't quite put our fingers on it because, the way that Tyler is writing it, but we know something. We know this is not on the up and up. We know that there is an issue. He's playing some game. I don't know what that game is. I don't know how he is benefiting from it. A lot of people think that Gary is after Andy's money. He has way more money than Andi. Even with this little, what she had, 1 point something or $2 million, whatever it was, he still got more money than her. So to go to this extreme to get money from Andi, it does not make sense. It does not make sense. We see that, what's his name? Aaron is, excuse me. We see that Aaron is shown in the preview, and, you know, he's telling Karen that he's thinking about her right now. He walks up to her, I guess, to, you know, let her know or let him feel his heart on or whatever. But I'm like, that's cute and everything, but we need to know where you went, sir. We need to know where you went before y'all get all lovey-dovey and having these, you know, memories of the night before. We need to know where the hell you went. So I'm not It was cute. I did like it, but I want to know, where did you go, sir? Where did you go? Because we don't know that. We don't know. FYI, people, please stop. Please stop inboxing me about what happened to Karen's money, who used her credit card. Please, I beg of you. Please. We may never know the exact person. All we know is that it was a client of hers who took her card and signed Zach's name. Why she did it, who she is, we may never know. And that's just something, baby, yeah, we just gonna have to live with. That is the top question. Well, did they ever say who took her money? Yeah, they said. They just didn't show. So that is I'm not answering that. I'm gonna just ignore you. So if you ask me that, I'm sorry, I ain't coming for you. I'm just saying, watch the show, please. Because we all know the same thing. She watched the footage. It was a client of hers. Based on what Danny said, Karen didn't seem too unhappy or, oh, that's such and such. She didn't say the name. We don't know, sis and bros. We don't know. Okay, we just don't. I've been talking for 31 minutes, and yeah, I'm done with this. I just but please help me out. You as a Fatima fan. Please tell me what's the difference between what Karen did to Zach and what and what Fatima has done to Zach. And the thing about it is, Fatima coming at Zach, she has no history with him. And the fact, and I'm so sick and tired of them having sex. Like, God, I don't want to see them do nothing no more the rest of this series. Because every episode, I'm all for getting your back blown out, okay? I'm all for it. But can we see some depth to them? And there may not be any depth to them, and that's perfectly fine. And sex may be all that they have. This was a question. This may be very controversial, but I'm going to answer it anyway. And I'm just going to give what I got to say about it, and what you got to say about it, you can respond to. Someone asked me, do I think that there should be more screen time for Fatima and Zach, because they feel that Fatima and Zach is what's making the show right now. And I could not disagree more. I feel like, this is just me, if you feel like Zach and Fatima are holding this show, I really have to question a lot of things. Because what the hell is going on with them? Like, I feel like, how are they making the show? I don't get it. I think they're getting the adequate time that they need. I do not want to see more of them. If there was more depth to what is going on between Fatima and Zach, then yes, I would love to see it. But because I know in almost every scene is going to end up with them having sex, I have nothing to look forward to. At least with Sabrina and Jacoby, we don't know what's really going to happen. We see that he shows up, next week to her place. And I'm like, Sabrina, stop letting these people come to your damn house. Like, that situation is too sensitive for him to even be anywhere near her. Like, I don't even understand why he's there or why she has allowed him to even come in to converse with her. I really don't know. But like I stated, if there was something more exciting going on with Fatima and Zach, then maybe. But because there isn't, I think we're seeing enough of them, to be perfectly honest. Also, I think I answered this before, but somebody asked me about a Fatima spinoff. I wouldn't watch it. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't watch it. I think that Crystal does a great job portraying Fatima in Sistas, but I would not want to see a whole show that is based on her. I don't think I would be interested at all. So, I mean, if that's what you want to see and that's what you like, more power to you, but I don't see that. I haven't seen enough of her acting to say that, yeah, I really do think that it would be great to, create something that's centered around her. I just haven't seen her talent really be displayed like that in Sistas. And that go for everybody. Especially KJ and Ebony and all. Like, I've really watched their stuff because they're in a lot of stuff. And I just don't think that the depth of what they can bring, like, I just don't. I think Tyler writes down. So I think they act down. But all of them are amazing except a few that I don't really care for. But I'm not going to go there right now. But for the most part, they're all super talented. And I just think Sistas does not do a great of a job at exploiting just how great of a talent they really are. And so I'm gonna leave with that. It's 35 minutes, going to 36 minutes. I thank you guys for listening. And I will holler at y'all later. Until next time, y'all be safe out there.